Hey, this is Joey. This is a video response to Belladonna's video about hauntings and things. First girl, sorry about the headband. My hair is misbehaving, so anyway. So I wanted to do a reaction video. I have done a video before on spirits where I cover a lot of other instances of spirit activity, I guess. But I wanted to reply to you. Oh gosh, about, sorry, the webcam is driving me crazy because it looks like I've got two different coloured eye shadows on it. It's not. I give up. Right, okay, focus. Okay, so I wanted to do this video as a response to your video, and I'd also thought of another couple of instances of activity. Maybe I'll go to that at the end. I think so. First of all, you're not nuts. I'm Claire. Right. Okay. I'm clairvoyant first, and clairvoyant is seeing spirits. My sister is clairaudient, so it meant that she didn't see them, but she heard them. And my youngest sister was clairsentient, which meant that she could sense they were there, but she couldn't. Like, she had got a feeling that something was there, and sometimes emotions as well. But none of the other two. And we started off in these very defined roles. However, recently I've started hearing as well as seeing. I'm very connected to my middle sister. There's a bond and a physical, spiritual tie between us, so we protect each other, and a lot of, we can sense each other's feelings, emotions, things like that. And it's meant that she started seeing things and I've started hearing things, and I sense things as well now, so I now have all three. Clairaudient, the priest guy said, is just hearing them, but if you've seen a shadowy shape, that suggests more than just clairaudient. Yeah, so you're not nuts. The other thing I did mention in my comment, but when people are sensitive to, this camera is going to drive me crazy. When people are sensitive to spirits tend to follow them around. It doesn't mean it's the same spirit as in a certain house. It doesn't mean it's the same one unless someone is really, really trying to get your attention in particular. But, I mean, I've never had that happen, and I've been seeing them for a long, long time. I mean, I shut it down after one point in my life because in my real, physical, mundane life, things got really negative and really bad, and that meant the attraction of negative stuff because of my emotions and whatnot, and I had some bad run-ins. So at that point I shut it all down on purpose. It's basically like refusing to listen, refusing to see, and after a certain point your powers just start to switch off. And when I came to realise that the Morrigan was my patron main goddess, and when she came to me, one of the things that made a lot of sense to me was that she was so involved with death and rebirth, being the watcher at the ford who men would see before they die, knowing that they're going to die in battle, and she sort of sees spirits and crosses them over and is within those realms. So that made a lot of sense to me, that she would be my matron goddess, because I was clairvoyant. So it would make a lot of sense to me if that was a common trait amongst people who the Morrigan honoured with her blessings, her presence, because that's a big aspect of who she is. So it would make sense to me that that would be a big aspect of who her followers are. So I wanted to mention that because, and that, I mean, you obviously already know the tie there. You have your skull on the Morrigan altar. So there's a connection already there. So I think, you know, you probably already realised that there's a connection there, but it's something that I came to realise that I had to embrace my gift more fully as a result of openly accepting the Morrigan. And she told me, you know, you can't deny your gift anymore. Because even up to recently, I mean, I've had experiences non-negative in this house. They've all been positive, and because I've lived in a negative environment and my gnome has lived in a negative environment, and we can tell the difference. If you go have a look at the other video, I give some experiences both in this house which have been fine. I got, you know, I had a reaction to the footsteps on the stairs, which is something that, if I go over here it doesn't look so bad. Right. Oh gosh. Anyway, so that's all on the other video, but there was something that I actually forgot on the other video, which living in the other house. We had a burglar alarm system in that house that and there were sensors on the stairs looking diagonally across the landing that were red and flashed and beeped. And once the rest of the thing broke, this thing would freak me and my sister out, because it would flash and beep when nobody was out there on the landing, when our doors were shut, when there was no movement from anywhere, no one was around to trigger them, and this thing would flash and beep like someone was out there and walking about. I'd forgotten all about that, and my sister forgot all about that, because she did actually post a few responses that she remembered going through. But that thing used to freak us out. That was a bad house. A bad house. Some of the people that were living in it who were related to me are not good people, and they attracted all sorts of crap. They messed about with it in their youth as well and never gave it full respect and whatever. Because of the negativity, it attracted negativity. So if you feel uncomfortable with that dark shadow, I would get smudging and cleansing and ask the Morrigan to help you, you know, get rid of it. But seeing shadows doesn't necessarily mean it's negative. You will have a you will sorry. You will have a feeling on whether or not it is a positive or a negative. It's gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna have to take my makeup off, I think. You will have a feeling on whether or not it is a positive or negative spirit. But seeing shadows doesn't necessarily make it negative. I sometimes see shadows rather than full-on seeing. And seeing can often be in your mind's eye rather than on the physical plane. I have seen a couple on the physical plane, and most of it tends to be thing. I wondered if your daughter who had seen things was more like you than your other daughter in her mannerisms, personality, that sort of thing, because quite often you inherit it, the gifts. But there's an element of choosing to believe and choosing to see, and there's an element of inheriting it. Now, my mother was not supportive. I mean, like you said, your mum was. Mum was like, And we found out later, many years later, that she was actually clairaudient, like my middle sister, and had heard things as a young person. Could have been helpful to know that when we thought we were going nuts. Never mind. In the past, never mind. So, it could be inherited. And if you've both seen, the thing that you've both seen physical things moving is interesting as well, because the only time I've only seen physical things that I can remember. No, that's not true. There's more than one example, but like that, there was a glass on the in the bathroom, on a bathroom shelf in front of the mirror, and it moved across like that and went to fall, and I caught it as it went to fall. Again, if this has happened, oh, that's interesting. There are orbs up there since I started talking. Somebody's here. That's unusual. Haven't had that happen. There's someone here. I can feel it. Okay. I can feel cold on my legs as I sit here, and I saw orbs over there. Yeah, there's someone here. Female. I didn't expect that to happen, actually. That's never happened when I've done videos before. There's something, it's an old lady with a shawl. Pink, dark pink shawl, knitted. I don't know if this makes any sense to you or this is completely irrelevant. It might be completely irrelevant just because I'm talking about it. Okay, I see you. Okay. That was odd. I will pause this tape and see if there's anything weird on the tape on sound-wise as well. I don't know if there will be or not, but she's disappeared again. Well, that was interesting. No, it's gone. My legs are warm again. Something about legs being cold and a lady in a shawl, a pink shawl, knitted. She might have been an older woman. Not quite sure what that was about. Anyway, tell me if that means anything to you. If not, it might just be because I was talking about them. Anyway, so, before I completely got, wow, that was weird. Alright, okay. I'm going over here. If you want to show up, over there, okay? Nice clear space for you. So it could be inherited. I think that's what I was talking about. It quite often is. Both my parents had abilities like that, and I inherited them, obviously. It's nothing to be particularly worried about. Morrigan will guide you through it. And she might be very keen on, you know, you're going to have to deal with it because she's keen on things like that. You know, you have to do it. But I'm sure, you know, if it gets difficult, she'll help. And if you ask for advice, she'll give it to you, I'm sure. So with your daughter, it might be inherited. And the physical thing is interesting. That, to me, would suggest that someone really does want to be acknowledged. Often when things like that, if things like that happen to me, I acknowledge them, just like just now. And that was very, and the pink shawl thing was in my mind's eye. I was told to mention it. I don't know, pinky purple. So I feel like I've contrived that, and I really haven't. That's just, I thought I was just going to chat a little bit about what you had said, and I feel a little bit odd having said that. But there you go. I don't know if it means anything. I don't know if it doesn't. I feel weird having even said it, but it happened, so I will include it in here. Yeah. That's unusual. I haven't had that happen talking about somebody else's gift before. Anyway, so I'll cut it off there. If you have any more questions that I haven't covered in this video or the other video, just post them down here and I'll make a little video response and say whatever I can to respond to any questions or anything like that, because I like having someone to, you know, talk to as well. It's nice to know you're not by yourself. I mean, I have my sister, but she doesn't see. She might be seeing now. Yeah, it's gone now, I think. So, okay, I'm going to leave it there because that actually was more than I expected. No, I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for now, and I have a few other things, but if you want to ask anything else, just ask, and I will endeavour to remember more stuff, because I mean, I've forgotten the fire, it's not a fire alarm, it was a burglar alarm sensor that would go off for no reason. I'd forgotten that in my last video, and that's like pretty major. It did it all the time. I used to freak my sister out, really. Okay, so let me know if that means anything to you. If it doesn't, I apologise. It was just bizarre. But there you go. Many blessings, and talk to you soon.